Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
All right, we're about to check out this one video because I just now did another video of a black gentleman. He was talking to another black dude, and he just wanted to understand from that gentleman why that guy was voting for Biden. The dude who did the video, he wanted to tell him why he should vote for Trump. He gave a whole bunch of facts that whew, it blew my mind. But the reason why we're here is because he brought up the fact that Joe Biden is extreme amount of racial tendencies. He considers him racist as hell.
You going to apologize, like Cory Booker
Apologize for what?
Cory Booker's called for it.
Cory should apologize. He knows better. There's not a racist bone in my body. I've been involved in civil rights my whole career. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
What? You can't go to a 7-Eleven unless you have a slight Indian accent? What? So as soon as you walk in there, you gotta get into your 7-Eleven voice. That's from, everybody knows how to do their 7-Eleven voice from The Simpsons, I guess. That's ridiculous, man.
The world is different. There's too much unfinished business for us to just look backwards. We have to look to the future.
I know Joe. We know Joe. But most importantly, Joe knows us.
That's right.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Did this dude say I learned about roaches? Yo, did he say I learned about roaches? What, from hanging with black children, from hanging with black families, you learned about roaches, bruh? Come on, man. Nope, calm down, Van. Put a smile on your face, be the happy Van. They like to see the happy Van. They don't want to see an angry Van. No.
Even call centers, which rushed overseas in the hundreds of thousands. How many times you get the call? I'd like to talk to you about your credit card.
Poor kids are just...
Oh my gosh. I'd like to talk to you. Come on, bro.
How many times you get the call? I'd like to talk to you about your credit card.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Card.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
About your credit card.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Yo, poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. I heard it for myself. I told y'all I wasn't going to wait for y'all to go find it for me because I like to ask y'all all the time. Please let me know in the comments where I can find this. Well, I went looking for this right after I watched that video. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wow, bruh. Joe Biden just So what you trying to say? Because you excluded all white kids from that poor. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as them good old white kids. Come on, bruh. That was not very smart. That was not very smart. And he wasn't even young when he said that. He wasn't young when he said that.
How many times you get the call?
Oh my gosh.
I'd like to talk to you about your
Come on,
credit
man.
card.
That's ridiculous.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. They're going to put you all back in chains.
You needed my opinion?
What? This, I was about to call him the N-word. Van, you are doing better now. You got counseling. You're back reading your Bible. You're focusing on the positive, getting rid of the negative. It flows away like the wind. More positive. This dude, man, I swear to goodness, he said gonna have y'all back in chains. Oh my God.
It's white kids. They're going to put you all back in chains.
In my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now. The Democratic Party is diverse, and it should be reflected as so in our leadership.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Why does this happen?
I'm not going to do this.
If you have a problem trying to figure out, first of all, man, who gave that man an edible before he went to the Breakfast Club? Because he was all over the place. And I apologize for making. Listen. It just sounded like he was on an edible. Or he had an edible or something before he went and did that. Okay, I'm gonna stop stopping this so much, man, because I'm gonna be fussing this whole daggone. Whew.
What I'm not going to do this, because, Chuck, I'm not going to do this because let me just be really clear. Vice President Biden absolutely has a respect level for all people around him, for voters across this country, young people, older voters, voters of color, black people, Latino voters, indigenous, Asian American, Pacific Islander. So I'm not going to even traffic in any hypothetical conversation about if he is sensitive enough.
Listen, Simone, and you smart as hell. I even think my wife like you because you're a strong black woman, extremely intelligent. We know your name. When we know your name, you are huge. The world knows your name. Now you have a responsibility to see the stuff that I've seen. I'm talking about pull the cloak off your eyes, man. I'm looking at a video right now that says that the guy that you are talking about, he's this, that, and the third, and he's amazing, all this other stuff. That's not what I'm seeing, sis. At all. That's not what I'm seeing.
Traffic in any hypothetical conversation about if he is sensitive enough. In my opinion, we don't need white people leading the Democratic Party right now.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
I think Joe Biden might be suffering from that same white entitlement and privilege and ego, where he's just that old school white male who feels like, hey, man, they need me, I don't need them, or I got them already.
Joe Biden is...
Or I got them already. Yes. Or I got them already. Yes. They don't need me. I mean, I don't need them. They need me. Nah, that part, if he think that, he's wrong. But that other part, or I got them already. Why should I care? I can say whatever I want to say.
Is under fire this evening on comments he made about working alongside segregationist senators in the past.
Biden recalling his early Senate career, bringing up two segregationist senators, Herman Talmadge and James Eastland, who called African Americans an inferior race. I was in a caucus with James O. Eastland, Biden said. He never called me boy. He always called me son. At least there was some civility. We got things done. We didn't agree on much of anything. We got things done.
I think the two-party system, although my Democratic colleagues don't like me saying this, I think the two-party system is good for the South and good for the Negro, good for the black in the South. Other than the fact that they still call me boy, I think they've changed their mind a little bit.
I think the two-party system is good for the South. Although my Democratic colleagues won't like me saying this, I think the two-party system is good for the South. Is he talking about segregation?
It's that old school white male.
The new integration plans being offered are really just a quota system to assure a certain number of blacks, Chicanos, or whatever in each school. That to me is the most racist concept you can come up with. What it says is, in order for your child with curly black hair, brown eyes, and dark skin to be able to learn anything, he needs to sit next to my blonde hair, blue-eyed son. He did not say that. Come on, bro. He did not say that. He did not say that. I need to, man, wow. He need to sit next to my blonde hair, blue-eyed son. He need to sit next to that dude.
They're going to put you all back in chains.
30 seconds or less. What kind of a chance would a northeastern liberal like Joe Biden stand in the South if you were running in Democratic primaries against Southerners like Mark Warner and John Edwards?
Better than anybody else. And you don't know my state. My state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. My state is anything from a northeast liberal state. It's that old.
You don't know about my state. My state was a slave state. My state had the most black people in it than anywhere in the country. I had the most slaves in my state. I know a great deal about how to get a slave, keep a slave, and keep a slave. Oh my God. Oh my. Man, let me tell y'all something. Rid of the negative, become positive.
Black population in the country. My state is anything from a Northeast liberal state.
It's that old school white male.
Choosing Joe to be my vice president was one of the best decisions I ever made.
It wasn't President Barack Obama, and you know how my family feel about you simply because you are the first black president of the United States. But you're not looking very good right now to me when it comes to Joe. Not at all.
Not the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
President Barack Obama just now sat there and said, just talk very positively about the guy that he picked and that he's such a good guy and all these things. You go to ask Biden what he thinks about the first black president. And he said he's articulate and bright. He's clean and a nice looking guy. He's clean. He's articulate because he's not supposed to be. He's bright because you know he's not supposed to be unless he's sat next to my blonde hair, blue-eyed son. He's clean because in the state I was, looking over, I was the senator of. I think that's what he was saying. We had a whole lot of slaves there and they weren't clean. He's nice looking. He's supposed to be mean looking and ugly. I don't get that statement. I don't get that statement. I don't get that statement. That's
clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
My son is Attorney General a year in Iraq, came back, and that's one of the things that he finds was most in need. When he was over there in Iraq for a year, people would come to him and talk about what was happening to them at home in terms of foreclosures, in terms of bad loans that were these Shylocks who took advantage of these women and men.
So calling Jews Shylocks is a racial term, is racist. Wow. Wow. I'm not going to repeat that. If y'all let me know that one in the comments.
Shylocks who took advantage of these
hitting everybody.
Women and men.
Back from Mumbai to go meet with President Xi in China. I stopped in Singapore to meet with a guy named Lee Kuan Yew, who most foreign policy experts around the world say is the wisest man in the Orient.
The wisest man in the Orient. I thought calling them Oriental or anything like that is frowned upon in this establishment. I don't know about the wisest man thing. I will have to consider. I don't know much about that. If that's racial or
the world say is the wisest man in the Orient.
There's not a racist bone in my body.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
I didn't like that very much. It sucks. It sucks feeling like you've been duped. It sucks. You know what I mean? But put that on y'all, man. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside the Patreon as well. You all have been amazing per usual. Thank you so much for all of your support, for just viewing the videos and everything, for sharing them, for doing whatever you do, for participating in the comments. That mean the world to me. Yeah. I'll see y'all next time, all right? Love y'all. Bye.